friends. This is Colleen.
And this is Margaret.
And we're the
cousins weird.
Weird. And we try really hard to time that right when we're not in the same room, but it's fine. With a delay.
Yeah.
It did. And then something happened. That's okay. So, we're not together again today. The weather was stupid today. Stormed all day. Margaret was traveling today. And so we're doing it tonight.
And I get home and I wasn't quite sure if my car would make it out of the driveway because it looked like Ruben had troubles this morning getting his car out to go to work. So I'm like, yeah, I think I don't feel like shoveling at 4 o'clock at night to go anywhere. So, or 5 o'clock. I don't know what time it was when I got home. But yeah, it was interesting. And then I laid down and I fell asleep for like freaking 3 hours, which I don't like to do that. It doesn't happen very often.
Up when I nap.
Me too. And then now I feel all weird. Like I'm all like groggy and it's strange. So I'm trying to be at my best.
Well, it's weird because like when I take a nap and I wake up as like a disoriented feeling you get, like you feel like you're almost separated from your body. It's a weird thing.
It is
napping.
weird.
Why is that? I don't get it. It has something to do with your body thinking it's supposed to sleep longer.
Yeah, and I think what it is like there's a sweet spot with taking a nap is you can't, I think if you reach that hour mark, then you're screwed.
Right.
Like a quick nap. If you just lay down and sleep for like a half hour, then you're all right.
Right. But it never works.
If you go longer than that, it never works. Because like a half hour just isn't enough time.
No. It takes me a half hour to get into. So
yeah, that's the problem. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I was dozing off like all over the place today. Like every time I sat down, I was just like, my eyes would close. Oh, no, you're not going to sleep. No naps for you. Because I didn't want that weird disoriented feeling today.
Yes.
But
I had a headache when I came home. And so I kind of like when I have a headache, I take some medicine. Like I'll take like a couple of ibuprofen and then just lay down and usually that'll do it. So it did work. I don't have a headache anymore. I just feel groggy.
Feel weird.
Disembodied. Yeah, I feel disembodied.
That's awful sounding.
Yes, it's terrible. My middle child, Evie, she lost her two top front teeth this week. The kids have been off school and the kid lost 2 teeth. She looks like a hillbilly.
So cute. She's so cute.
I know she does. But the teeth are like right there too. So like you could like it's like right.
It won't be long before she has them. The goons.
Yeah, but the goons. So she's talking and she has this lisp and she's just adorable. There are no teeth on top. Kind of looks like a little vampire. She looks like the kid from Stranger Things.
Oh,
which I'm finally all caught up. We watched the last 3 episodes this weekend, and I've been watching them with my mom and Renee, and so we've been trying to watch them all together. So like we've had these last 3 episodes of the last season just like hanging over us, and so we finally finished and watched them all. So yeah, that was really good. I like that show a lot. But the final season's coming out. It's gonna be like 2 parts or something.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's like from our time, like when we were kids. We were kids when these kids were kids. You know what I mean? So it's just like to watch it. It's like, oh yeah, that was us running around being stupid when we were like
and just
11.
Like the cars in the background and the stores in the background and all that kind of stuff just gets me every time. I'm like,
they're in the mall. There's a Claire's.
So
like, oh my god, there's a Claire's in the mall. I worked at the Claire's in the mall forever.
There still are Claire's, aren't there? Yeah, it's still there.
Oh yeah, but it's not the same as it was in the 80s.
No.
I think personally Claire's and like Afterthoughts, they peaked in the 80s. Where they had those Debbie Gibson hats. Colleen had one.
Oh god, I love that hat.
That black hat I was so jealous of that hat. Oh my god.
Never wore it out of the house, but I loved it.
You never wore it out of the house? Why not?
No. I was too embarrassed, I guess. I don't know. Now I would. I want it now and I'd wear it.
With a black tulle tied on the back of it? Oh my god, that hat was amazing. I would wear
it today. Everywhere.
Where
if I had it.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that hat?
No.
Things never stuck around like that at Colleen's house. Her mom is very like
Yeah.
she started the if it doesn't spark joy, it's gotta go. That was started with your mom, even though
There's no clutter at the main residence. No.
no.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
No clutter, no mess. And you drink out of your glass, you put it down to get more drink, and it's already cleaned, put away before you turn back around. So yeah, things don't collect dust there. So that's
Not
probably
at all.
it went away in a garage sale, like my brother's Star Wars toys did, and they
Yep.
almost died when she sold those. But she'll never live that
Did she end up selling the Kiss dolls too?
down. They may still be floating around, but I think like Gene Simmons was broken half or something. Remember, we had to keep his singlet on for him to
Oh yeah,
stay
yeah, yeah.
together. You couldn't change his clothes.
I had a Ken doll like that too. He was the wedding Ken,
You
and
had to
he
wear it.
had like a tuxedo, but it was one piece, like one. It wasn't like pants and a shirt. It was like a
Yeah, it was like
onesie.
a onesie.
Yeah, and he had to keep the onesie on, otherwise he was broken in half.
Oh, our childhood was fun.
It sure was.
Anyway, we're going we're going into the month of March, which to me is uh all St. Patrick's Day. Like so, with it going into Irish month, I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about some not so um, famous or talked about or known about uh,
Folklore?
folklore and mythology from Ireland, but
Ooh.
two things that are like in the fairy family that I didn't really know anything about, and I read about them, and I was like, oh, I have to talk about this. One is called the Pooka,
I've heard of that.
and the other is called the Clurichaun.
Okay.
So first, we're going to talk about the Pooka. Okay, this thing is cool. I think this was fascinating to me. I really kind of took a deep dive into the Pooka and tried to find everything I could about them. So they're a type of fairy, a shapeshifter, and the most feared of all fairies in Ireland. The name Pooka comes from the word "pak," meaning he goat in Irish, which is horrifying to me.
Yes.
He goat.
Ego.
Um, he is frequently depicted dog-like with jet black fur, fiery golden or red eyes, and a lot of people or some people associate him with the devil. And like I'm going to show pictures of what like drawings of him in the dog-like form. It's not any dog I've ever seen, but you know if you want to call it a dog, I suppose you could. It's creepy looking. Some of them are kind of cute, the drawings, but most of them are creepy. Um, as a changeling is something that can shape shift into anything it wants to. It can appear as any animal or in a human form. They say in his human form, he maintains some form of animal characteristic. So a hoof, maybe one hoof, or hair on his ears, or animal ears. Something will be not fully human on him in form.
I've
But
seen lots
one,
of people with hairy ears.
so maybe they're Pooka.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey.
they one thing that reigns through all the things, anything they morph to, they'll be jet black hair or like totally white. Some of them say, but that's one thing that is like the same in every, and he'll have those golden eyes. He's a trickster. He is a prankster. He's cunning and deceptive, and often a liar. He will can talk no matter what he is, too. So even if
That's
he's an animal, he
creepy.
can talk. Yeah. His month is actually considered November. November 1st is his day. And when you're harvesting, even to this day, farmers will leave a few stalks behind, and it's called the puka share, left to appease him because he needs his share of the crops too. And you want to make him happy because if you don't, he really gets pissed, causes havoc. He
Oh yeah.
also, any crops that weren't harvested or berries or anything like that are left behind, we think, you think, oh, the frost gets them and they die. It's not frost. The puka spitting on everything. He's out there going
Ew.
all over the place. And you don't want to eat that, obviously. So if it's ever frost on berries or anything, don't ever eat it because Pooka spit and it'll poison you. So don't do that.
Yuck. That's gross.
Um, Pooka is
He's
associated with
dirty. He needs to learn better manners and spitting
yeah,
on
he
shit.
does. That's disgusting. Pooka.
It is disgusting. It's how you spread germs,
That's
Pooka.
right. He's associated also with fertility because he has the power to create and destroy. Because of this, he has roots with the Easter Bunny also, like tied into bunnies, the Easter Bunny, and which is, if you've ever seen an Easter Bunny costume, they're the creepiest things ever. So I
They
totally
are
believe
really
they are Pookas.
terrifying. They're
Totally believe they're
terrifying.
Pookas. He's also kind of inspires the idea of the boogeyman too. He's like that kind of spirit. The Pookas live in the mountainous rural areas of Ireland, and every county of Ireland has their kind of own version of a Pooka that lives there, or they talk about, or whatever. Many small lakes and streams and springs that were called Pooka pools or holafukas, which is the pool or the Pooka or devil hole. So like little
Ugh.
ponds and are called with devil holes. Not,
I don't
I
want to go
don't like
swim in any place called the Devil's Hole.
no.
No thanks.
No, when things are converting from paganism to Christianity, a lot of times they changed Pooka Hole to St. Patrick's Well. So they've changed the name of some of them. St. Patrick's Well does sound more pleasing
It
than
does.
a Pooka Hole because that's just like you have a problem. I don't want that. Whatever that disease is, I don't want it.
I don't want it either. I'll pass.
One of the biggest Pooka holes is the source of the River Liffey. It's at the bottom of a 150-foot waterfall. And that's like the biggest, most like famous Pooka hole in Ireland. It makes me laugh every time I say it. They say,
because we're 12-year-old boys, Colleen.
yes, we are. We're
We really
professional.
are. Yes.
Pooka only appears at night, and they say if it rains on a sunny day in Ireland, the Pooka will make his appearance that night. So don't want sunny, rainy days because you'll see the Pooka. And they say the sight of the Pooka will stop a cow's milk from producing and from hens laying eggs. So it basically disrupts your whole farm because you
Yeah.
showed that. Every county talks about a specific Pooka. So here are a few examples. In the county Down, he appears as a small goblin, greedy for food and demands a share of the harvest. Um, in Wexford, he is a black eagle who could rip a man's body with his talons.
Yikes.
In Roscommon, he is a foul-tempered goat who could gore you with his curved horns.
Yikes.
That's fantastic. Sometimes he is seen as a bat or a large blackbird, and he'll wait at crossroads to scratch travelers' faces. It's just a little menace out there.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, most often, however, like those are like the like gory kind of like murderous things that people say, but typically the legend is he's more of a trickster and a prankster, not so much doesn't really want to hurt people, just wants to make your life kind of miserable. So typically that's not the
That's
case
great
with those.
too.
I don't like that either. Yeah, because I'm like, you're just
No.
gonna annoy me, and I'm not gonna like it. Most common story of him is most commonly talked about is him appearing as a black horse with glowing eyes, glowing golden eyes. He would put his head down between the legs of a drunk person walking home and get him up onto his back, like put his head between their legs and like push them up onto his back. And then he would take him for a ride throughout the town drunkenly, like they're drunk, and he would knock gates over, trample crops, gardens, and then he would leave the drunk person where he found them in the beginning. And they would wake up the next morning not remembering what